Welcome to the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, where rude mechanicals do magic. Hello, I'm Bronze Age, Director of the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage. And today we're at the BF bench with a drawer that has the bottom falling out. Now the dresser that this came out of is in the lab for other repairs, but this is the only drawer which has issues. And it's made with dovetails at all four corners. And there's a groove in the back piece, which makes this bottom is captured on all four sides, and that presents a peculiar problem when you're trying to replace the bottom. It means that the drawer box has to be completely disassembled. Now these are the standard machine-made dovetails common in most furniture made in the 20th century. The tails and the pins would be cut out by big giant machines with little cutters that would slice all this up, and then a little bit of hide glue would be slathered on it, be jammed back together, and go on down the line. Of course, hide glue doesn't last forever, so somewhere along the line somebody decided that they were going to put a row of little nails in the ends of the dovetails, which just makes this job a little more difficult. I could try and dig the nail out, but then I'm going to chew up a lot of wood, or I can just try and knock this loose and bend the nail over. 6 of one, half dozen the other. I'm going to damage wood either way, but I'm here to fix wood, so I guess that's what I'm just going to have to do. The drawer guide is glued to the bottom panel, but I may be able to peel that off after I get these two little wire brads cut that are holding it to the back panel. I'm going to make the new bottom panel out of 5mm Luan, and fortunately the old panel is intact enough I can use it as a pattern. You usually don't get a complete piece like this, and tracing out this curve is a lot more difficult than it appears. What you'll end up is cutting it a little bit wide and then sanding it to fit all the way around. Not too bad for a first fit. One thing that's going to slow this job down a little bit is this piece and this piece are made up of boards glued together, and they're going to have to be put back together, clamped, and set up for a while before I can finish putting the drawer back together. A bench is not a table, it's not a desk. It's actually a clamp. It's the biggest clamp in the workshop. Now, like all good workbenches, the BF bench has this depression in the back called a tool tray. Seldom holds tools, mostly holds sawdust, chips, nails, screws, but it keeps stuff from falling off the back of the workbench, which that makes it worth the trouble right there. But it's also can be used for holding fixtures and jigs. So in this case, trying to put this big drawer together, I can make this piece here, which will hold the drawer front in place while I'm putting everything else together. Now, I have to admit, this is not the panel that we all saw me over at the bandsaw with. It is the second one I've actually cut. The first one was cut from pattern using the old bottom panel, and it was too short. It was too short this way and too short that way. And I checked, and it's the exact same size as the bottom panel. And I should have been suspicious when I saw this little cleat someone had nailed onto the bottom here, because anytime somebody's gone through the trouble of adding something to a piece of furniture, there's usually a good reason for it. Okay, now this is the dry fit, and as I've learned the hard way, I don't try to film the glue ups. Handling sticky pieces of wood and clamps while trying to worry about camera angles and stuff like that, that's just too much trouble. So I'm going to take this back apart, apply glue to all these dovetails, clamp it back again, make sure it's good and square. And while we're waiting for the glue to dry, then we're going to talk about the dresser that this thing goes to. Now, this is a very nice piece of furniture. We've got 4 drawers. They get progressively deeper as they go down. The drawer pulls are a style that go back to the late 1700s into the early 19th century. Goes back to furniture designers and builders, Hepplewhite, Sheraton. Sometimes this style is called Empire, but it comes back into fashion about once every 20 years or so. Now, in spite of having drawer pulls that go back 300 years, this is a completely modern piece of furniture. And by that I mean the side here is one complete slab. 2 boards, maybe 3, that are edge glued together. It's not a panel. There is no post. There is no rails. There's no stiles. And the drawer guides themselves are simply glued and nailed directly to the side. When you're researching furniture design, furniture designers, and furniture makers, you're lucky if you've got one good source that you can refer to. If you have 2, they probably contradict each other. That notwithstanding, here's what I've learned about this particular piece of furniture. In 1861, a man named Thomas Jefferson Finch was born in Virginia. That explains the funny name. He moved to North Carolina as an adult, became quite successful. He was a farmer. He owned a lumber company. He was a politician, elected sheriff, and even became the president of a bank. In 1906, he and his brother bought the Thomasville Chair Company of Thomasville, North Carolina. They expanded the line from just chairs to regular furniture. And somewhere around 1924, he bought his brother out, and he and his sons ran the company. He died in 1929. Now, Thomasville Furniture Company was quite a well-noted furniture manufacturer in the United States for quite a very long time. But if you look at this piece, you won't find Thomasville written on it anywhere else. But I'm very confident it is a Thomasville piece of furniture. They could have renamed the furniture company, but instead they did this. They made this little medallion and put it on the insides of the furniture that they made. It reads Finch Fine Furniture, and it shows a little guy working at a bench here doing something kind of woodworking type of stuff. So if you go online today and Google Finch Fine Furniture, you'll find lots of antique dealers who claim they have a Finch Fine Furniture Company piece for sale, which, as far as I can tell, was never actually a company name and more of a nickname than anything else. This is Bronze Age for the Secret Underground Laboratory, and I thank you for sitting through this video with me. I would really appreciate it if you would hit the thumbs up button. I welcome all comments and questions. I respond to all of them. And again, I do thank you for watching.